Pounders, welcome back. Today we're going to be covering BBM5 ADP movers, as well as ripping a few drafts. If you guys want to help us get to our 2K sub goal for a 24-hour live stream, we'd appreciate it if you enjoy the content to hit the subscribe button and maybe slappy the like. So starting off with QBs, and let's actually peek the 24-hour. Drake May. We could thank Coran for this. We already know that. But what's interesting is when you look at the week and you start to see where these QBs go, this is right on track with what we were saying with some of these late QBs just being the better advance rate plays most likely. So as you have these late QBs rise and then you have the elite QBs fall, it is actually a little more palatable to go elite QB right now. They do have a little bit of ways to go, especially like a player like Derek Carr, even in BBM as a QB3, QB2 with an elite at pick 200 seems a little too cheap to me for the safety that you're getting for him. Like if we put that in terms of like tight ends, where you're trying to find a starting tight end, we're getting the huge increase from like Fant, especially Fant. Because we're betting on that certainty. We're getting that certainty, so now he's rising. Jonnu's another one that you'll see. He's probably rising. And we'll get to tight ends in a minute. But like Derek Carr, you're getting that certainty that he's going to play, most likely the whole season. Like his bench risk has got to be under 5%, which, I mean, is extremely strong for his ADP. You're getting a lot of the late QBs. First one in the top 100, even Purdy up a little bit. Prescott, T-Law, this whole range, even they have to get a little more rich, and that's what we're seeing. For fallers, Stroud down a couple spots. Expect this to continue. Although, as the badges come back, I don't know if you guys have noticed, they are wild. They unhinged. One might say unhinged, like naked Stroud, and then not knowing that, you know, he is falling every, what do you say, 1 out of 5 drafts to the 80s to go back to like the Nico team or the Tank Dell team, Diggs team. He is a common faller right now. Caleb Williams down a spot, Hurts down a little bit. So there's actually a little bit of a mix here, but I guess here's the top 5. 0.6 Burrow, Daniels down. We know Spags is happy about that. He go and buy that dip. We know that for a fact. Moving on to running backs. Let's go risers first. Gus Edwards, and this one's actually surprising. And is this because there's just not a lot of news with the Chargers running backs, so people are just reaching on Gus? I still think it's funny that, and we called this a while ago too, we got to pat ourselves on the back while we can because we're going to have our misses, and they're coming up, trust me. Zeke's catching up to Gus, man. I think Zeke should go ahead of Gus. Just having that third down role, pass pro, going to have a similar red zone role. Also a top 10 O-line. They're not going to be as dominant as they were in years past, but they still will be very solid. You get the Lloyd rise. This is probably going to continue. Estimate up a little bit, and he's getting a little bit of steam right now, so I am catching up on my estimate. Shares, James Conner, Pacheco. It's funny, Pacheco is officially ahead of ETN, right? Yeah, Pacheco's officially ahead of ETN. ETN down 0.7. And I like Pacheco. I just like him after ETN. I would prefer ETN over Pacheco. Pacheco, you do have the benefit of leveraging Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, couple of receivers that go in the top 65 picks. So that's why the Pacheco click feels even better, is you're getting that extra bonus of, in a single game slate, week 17, getting to leverage an elite QB and some other elite pieces is nice. It's a bonus. We'll take that. Chub up a couple picks because of the squats video. We all know. I'm sitting around like 6% right now. I was drafting him when he fell to like 155, 160 as RB4, RB5. We'll see. I'm a little lower on Jerome Ford right now. I was sort of waiting on this Cleveland backfield to see what's going to happen. So maybe I'll buy the Ford dip, to be honest. So we'll see that the Ford is falling right now. Dobbins up a couple picks. Brian Robinson, Chuba, Singletary. This Singletary rise, dudes. Singletary's he's still mispriced. We're still drafting Singletary ahead of Spears. He finally passed Benson. Like it's about time. It's about time. Nick and I had Singletary ranked above Benson the 2 days after the NFL draft. Dowdle up a spot, and then actually, Henry up a spot, which actually says something. Going this early in drafts, and the casuals are probably taking part in the Derrick Henry rise here. Charbonnet definitely a good shout here. Kyron, maybe we saw the max price on Kyron stop at 30, up half a pick. That's definitely notable. Some of these dead zone RBs, not a huge surprise with the casuals coming back. Kendry Miller falling again. Dude, this guy's on an actual roller coaster with no news. With no news, this guy goes from 165 to 138 to now he's in 145 again. Roller coaster with minimal news. It's sort of funny. Ray Davis down, and Ray Davis over the month is actually down 10. He's down 9 spots over the month. Khalil Herbert down 9 picks. And I love this. I'm buying that dip on Rashawn. Jalen Wright down a few picks. We're actually mixing him in a little more as RB4, RB5. Benson. Corum. And I sort of wonder, is ETR, are they, how much of the market is going off of ETR rankings? And then we know they're lower on rookies, and you're seeing a lot of rookie bias. They were obviously priced expensively, but some of those rankings have them ranked a little later, a lot later. So you have to think, with more people using rankings nowadays, affecting the market as a whole. Vidal. Saw Karain yesterday, late night plus EV draft. We get the 12 spot. Karain's in the 11 in BBM. He took Vidal as his RB6. Thought that was interesting. And then he stopped at 6. His first RB off the board was Stevenson. So 6 RBs in between Stevenson and Vidal. Vidal closing up the room. I'm not really clicking Vidal right now. And I'm waiting for a little more info. Now, there is a chance that you get a big rise out of a player like this with positive news in training camp, but we'll see. He could also be a 0. Let's see, anything else worth noting? Brooks actually down a spot. Interesting. Swift, this is a big fade for us in the top 100. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else too notable. I think Benson still has a couple picks to go. I think you could rank Zeke above Benson right now, but his price is getting closer, and it's because of the RBs that go off the board now before him. Whereas before, it's you have Singletary at 121, it's tough for me to click Benson at 104 where he was a month ago. Moving on to the receivers. Wandale up 3 picks, and there's a lot of buzz around Neighbors is going to take a lot of the slot role. That's going to hurt Robinson. But isn't he just better than Hyatt? Isn't he just better than Slayton? They're playing different roles. Those guys are going to spread the field, but Neighbors isn't just a strict slot guy, so he's also going to take away from those other players as well. So I like Wandale at his spot. He is getting a little expensive where there's tight ends in that range I'd rather go. There's Fant, there's Hunter Henry that will sometimes be in this range. So I've been clicking a lot less of him lately, but I always like to click beforehand. It's probably going to hurt my exposures now because I am saving my tight end 2 for that spot. Brandon Cook's up 3 picks, and he's going in this Shaheed range now. which is interesting because, I mean, I view both of these players pretty similarly. I mean, obviously age difference, but wide receiver 2 on their team, you're looking at, what, 4 spike weeks from these guys? It's sort of tough for them to truly outperform their ADP by a long shot, where in this range, I'm looking for that. I want someone that is going to be RB12. Take a shot on someone that's higher ceiling. So in this range, Cooks and Shaheed feel like desperation plays as wide receiver 4s, wide receiver 5s. You're trying to catch up. You're not trying to get avalanched. I will mix them in. Brandon Cooks seems like a good leverage play off of maybe CeeDee Lamb in a single game ceiling standpoint, being able to maybe steal touchdowns in the week 17 game. I like that. And that, you have to factor that in a little bit, sort of like the Pacheco click. Douglas up a few picks, and Douglas has been on a roll. Douglas is up 25 spots in the last month. Demarcus Robinson's this is crazy, bro. 170's crazy, man. 180's fine, 190's even better. We're getting in the 160s, guys. What are we doing here? McMillan, been on this for a while. He was our favorite last round click. Now you have to get him at 189. Still clicking him there. Rice. The days of Rice in the 70s, in the 80s, long gone. Long gone. He's been rising as of late as well. Christian Watson's actually sneakily rising too. Christian Watson's going to be in the 60s pretty soon. And this happened very slowly, but very steadily. Kind of sneaky. It's oh way. Hey, C-Watt, when did you get down there? Last call on Watson. It's true. It's kind of strange because I don't remember him getting a huge bump on any news. It's really just been steady. It's just been steady. Collins up a pick. Cooper Kupp actually up a pick. Pickens. And one of these Green Bay guys is going to fail miserably. Miserably per their ADP. I want to say ETR says it's Reed just based on price and based on target share and the amount of routes that they're letting these guys in Green Bay run. You're going to see a mix of all of these guys on the field. Rome up, Mooney up. Mooney feels like a safe click in that range. Kind of cool that he will leverage some expensive pieces as well. But I'm not going overboard on Mooney. Around 7% right now. Amari Cooper's in this range of hey, we're in the tier break. It's Amari Cooper. You could be looking at the wide receiver cliff. You're looking at Kirk in that spot as well. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's really tough to go Christian Kirk over someone like Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts. It's really, I think it almost might be stupid. I think it might be getting to the point where it could be stupid to be drafting Christian Kirk over Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. But you see it. You see it happen. It's just, that's tough for me. I'm a simple man. I tweeted out the other day, I see Josh Allen in the 40s. I'm just going to draft Josh Allen in the 40s. And, I'm going to try to outplay the room by making better clicks in the middle rounds and late rounds and by better roster construction. Some of the micro, some of the macro takes. T-Hop up a little bit. Tebow up a little bit, not surprising. I like the late Malik Washington click. Dude, the late Malik Washington click is something I queue almost every single draft, and then I click off of him for some reason. I always, I find a way to click off of him. It's, so I'm trying to get my Malik shares up because Odell's not going to be the full-time third wide receiver on the field for Miami. They're going to be mixing in Malik. They like him a lot. I do want to get I want to get my 8% before he rises. Because I think there is chance to see pretty decent rise out of Malik. Sort of like what we saw out of McMillan. For fallers, here we go. We'll take the L. I'm accepting the L on Roman Wilson, the Roman Wilson fall. However, I think there's a chance with a little bit of positive news, he pops right back up. So I'm still going to be at my 12 to 15% Roman Wilson. Just know he's falling sometimes to the 180s. He is still currently in a free fall. Corley makes sense. Like Rodgers doesn't like rookies. So, I mean, he's already starting off behind based on who his QB is. But it's funny to see both Mike Williams and Corley fall because someone's going to be Rodgers' second favorite target. Someone's going to be that guy to get 7, 8 touchdowns. That's probably Mike Williams. I think that red zone role for him, if he can just stay healthy, jump in the air, come down not on his ankle or knee, could be Mike Willie. Really could. It's just right now you're getting some negative news about the injury, and I think we need some updates before we go too aggressive on the Mike Williams click. Addison's probably going to fall to mid-late 80s, somewhere in that range, maybe like 82. But he's still falling, so waiting on Addison to really bottom out before we select him. Ricky, did we get update on the Ricky Pearsall news? The injury news? It happened. It was a non-football injury 2 days ago, 5 hours ago. Forces him to miss out on a great opportunity. La-di-da-di-da. Do we know what the injury is, though? I'm not sure if it's come out. Let me know in the stream. What's up, fellas? What's up? If you guys haven't already, just join us. Go down, slap the like on the live stream. Help us get to 2K subs. We're literally going to be doing a 24-hour live stream, 24 guests. August, I think 29th is the date I requested off. It's a Friday. It's August 30th. That will be the date of the live stream. Bateman down a couple picks, which is whatever. Zay Jones. You know, Zay Jones isn't the worst click when you have Kyler. Pick 207. It's like last round click. If you're correlating it, I think it's fine. If it's a bring back play, I think it's fine. He's going to be like your wide receiver 8. So I think it could be worth the click. He was used in the red zone in Jacksonville. I guess the worry for Zay Jones is, I mean, Jacksonville used him better than any other team did. So there's always that risk. AD down a couple spots, which is nice. And then we're DJ Moore actually down a pick at pick 30. Nice. I like that. Moving on to tight ends. You have Sinnott down 6 spots. And you're going to see him continue to fall. Who's the guy that said he was the next, was it Laporta? Was that really the quote? I think it was. He was the next Sam Laporta. It's tough. It's tough because he rose all the way to 155, 152, and you're seeing him, he's still free falling. And what's really funny, we had a tweet out a long time ago on this matter when we saw that happen. Wait, let me see if I can find it. Literally, it was just like, wow, Benson, it's so good. He might even be Hunter Henry. And Hunter Henry went 12 picks later. It's like, how does that make any sense? So he's falling in a range where it's like, okay, if I have Daniels, I'm trying to backstack like Luke McCaffrey and Sinnott. Like, I'll take the risk there. I think it's worth it. Jaceki, I still think it's a decent click, boys. I'll fall on the sword on a round 18 tight end that's athletic. I'll fall on that sword. And yeah, since he doesn't really have the best track record with bringing in the best tight ends, that's a proven fact, or even really using their tight ends all that effectively. But Jaceki, like, he's athletic. He does the gritty when he scores touchdowns. People probably don't like that. Let me pull up this dude's RAS score. You guys are gonna laugh, man. I don't even know how many people know this. He's got a RAS score of 9.97. Like he's an athletic tight end. That's what we want for fantasy football. That's actually all I want in round 18 is someone that could just maybe break out, maybe not, but that's fine. You're still getting a tight end that might be able to leverage Jamar Chase, if he gets a touchdown or 2 touchdown game, if he lucks into that week 17, and I'm cool with that. You're going to probably use him in 3 tight end builds anyways. So Laporta down a pick. And we touched on this with other tight ends getting more expensive and Laporta falling. Like you have Andrews rising, Laporta falling. Actually, Andrews down 0.2 here in the last week, but he has risen over the course of the last month. Only a spot. Weird because it feels like more. Since contest open, I want to say he started at like 54. But I think Laporta is worth mixing in. Really do. I think the hate's gone a little too far on Laporta. And other than that, you're not getting no big movement. Right here, not surprising. Fant, Jonnu. Juwan going to start on the pup, so this will basically be a free 18th round click. Kittle up a pick and a half, makes sense. Ferg up a pick. Evan Ingram up a pick. Hunter Henry up half. So you're getting a good mix of these tight ends rising. And we snuck into a draft, boys. Shout out to the Patreon members. Shout out to the YouTube memberships. If you want to get tipped off, join any tier of the Patreon or the Maxer on YouTube memberships. Also get the cool spoon, the cool spoon emoji. You know it. All right, we're getting JJ here. Actually, a 5% ownership for us. I want this to go up anyway, so getting him at pick 6 is ideal. Very ideal. And now we have to do the actual tip off here. It's beer o'clock, boys. Happy Thursday. That was a good one. That was, oh. Don't spill. Don't spill. There we go. All right. Do we really care? No, bro. I mean, it just shows that he's athletic. That's all that it's showing. I recommend you look at the other tight ends they brought in, like Irv Smith Jr., who everyone was drafting in the 140s, 150s last year. It's a much better click than that, and it's a last round click. He doesn't have to do a whole lot to be worth it. Really doesn't. Yeah, I mean, obviously under the Pats, it wasn't great. And then you also had Hunter Henry, who, again, people were drafting Gesicki last year over Hunter Henry, which that was mega wrong. So I don't know. Gesicki kind of has the role all by himself. It feels kind of safe. Yeah, it does. 100%, Devin. It does. But look who else you're drafting in that range for tight ends, too. Like, we're looking at Chig, Mr. like advanced analytics based on like very limited production. That was what, 2 years ago? We kind of fell for this, for the advanced analytics. We thought it was going to translate. It didn't. I think he's a better click than Chig. I'd make the bet straight up that Gesicki scores more points than Chig this year, if anyone wants it. Chug one for the stream, little double IPA down the hatch. Nothing crazy. All right, let's actually peek our Jefferson shares, because 3 Jefferson shares, one with Ayuk ETN, one with, another one with Ayuk. So we're going to avoid Ayuk here big time. This one's with Waddle Smith. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Let's go Nico here. Get a different combination. If you guys are curious what we're using, bestballoverlay.com. Promo code Pounders for 33% off. Brings it from $30 a month to $20 a month. You also get the overlay here with the game totals, the week 16, 17. I have week 15 turned off. And then it shows your exposures, and we have this set to BBM. Barkley off at 20, Waddle 21, Ayuk 22. So this will be our fourth share of JJ. We get a little slide, a little one pick slide on the Nico. One pick slide. You're so close. You're so close to qualifying, Al. That's funny. That's funny. Dude, ETR is like way overboard on Thielen. But again, and guys, I don't subscribe to the ETR rankings. We completely make our own rankings. Are they more like cash game? Like, do you guys think they're cash game minded? Where you have discounts on all the rookies, you're getting like some of those older vets, they're getting a boost. That is like, in my opinion, like very cash game minded. Oh dear. Do we go our first share of the Kyroner? It's just tough to go Kyron over Derrick Henry. Next pick's 43. Ugh, I just hate going running back here. So we're going to go double. We're going to double up Houston with Justin Jefferson. Felix says I got 18% myself. I knew we were going to create a little bit of stir in the comments here. Drafting on the treadmill. Good for you. Are we walking? Are we running? Are we doing sprints? What are we doing, Benny? Yeah, you got to dig deep, boys. When it's round 18, you got to dig deep. You got to dig deep. Actually, how many touchdowns does Gesicki have to score to be worth his ADP? How many spike weeks does he have to give you to be worth his ADP? 2. There's worse picks. There's a lot worse picks than a tight end that's going to be on the field for the Bengals. Max incline. Dude's basically doing the Stairmaster. 3.5 speed. Good for you. Good for you. You doing like the Rocky? You got like all the sweats on. Got a good Italian sweatpants, sweatshirt, little Adidas matching, green, white stripe, gold chain out. Shit. Shout out to the 16 watching on the Twitter machine. He goes, I draft while drinking. You know, that's almost just as athletic as drafting while walking on the treadmill there. Fist pumping. Yeah. Oh shit. All right, where is the Diggs team? Diggs team's to our right. Diggs team's to our right. So, do we get a slide on Stroud? Go elite QB, bro. You want Jalen Hurts here. Oh, you freak. You absolute freak. AJ Brown and goes Zay Flowers. I want to be guaranteed Stroud here at 78. But I guess if he comes to us at 67, we should probably just grab him. Goddamn. Shout out to Benny here in the 4 spot. And I'm not seeing any other pounders in this room, so hoorah. Absolutely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 badgeless. We got a few black badgies, Benny included. 43. I think this is going to be a Pickens click. We have ETN ranked above him, but we got to take into consideration the fall. Got to take into consideration the fall. Nah, pushing past 67. I just don't know what the risk benefit's going to be. Pick 78. Who would we want at 67 that we absolutely need? That's going to be the question we ask. Pick 67 that we can't get at in the 70s. Well, there's definitely receivers there, but we're going receiver heavy, so I think we can actually afford to skip that range. Jalen Hurts at 47 with the Smith team, so sick. Have a couple of those. It feels so damn good. Garrett Wilson, Marv, Josh Allen, and Kincaid at 39, really secure in that stack. Oh. Draft like you're right. If you're gonna go naked QB, isn't Hurts the QB you want naked? Yeah, I would 100%. 100%. Dudes, you about to give me Lamar? Oh, give me Lamar here. Then we don't care about Stroud. Oh. We're going the Lamar bring back on the Nico Collins Tank Dell stack. Now we're getting big brain with it. 8-pick slide on my number 1 owned QB. Happy me. Is it my birthday? Yeah. 1 spike week at 16 definitely pays off. Unless it's the week like Nick and I had in Miami for the Dog Bowl. Week 14, we have Njoku with 2 touchdowns, 100+ yards on like 6 catches at halftime, and he doesn't end up the number 1 scoring tight end on the slate. Like that was lunacy. It was absolutely lunacy. Everyone for tight end scored touchdowns that week, even Kyle Pitts. Yeah, this was always the worry about how healthy is he going to be? Is he going to be able to make the same throws? And that's the thing. You're getting a discount a little bit on Joe Burrow because of that uncertainty, but you're not getting it on Jamar Chase. It's not a common injury for QBs too. It's like undocumented for QBs to get that injury. Well, I see a lot of pitchers get the injury. Any of the top 4 QBs you can go solo. I honestly agree with that. A-Rich is definitely another good shout, but Patrick Mahomes spreads the ball. So yes, I want to get a stack with Mahomes, but I don't feel absolutely obligated if one isn't available, or if I'm just trying to push his stack and I don't have one yet and he falls maybe 6-7 picks, best click on the board. I'm not opposed to just going Mahomes alone. Maybe getting Rice or maybe getting Worthy to fall to me would just be a bonus. Oh, geez, Raphael. Yeah. It's all right. As long as the script's good, you need a good script. 0320. What's this man doing? This man said, give me all the RBs. Give me all the early RBs. I don't love the white click for multiple reasons. O'Dunes at 3%. What are the chances Deontay Johnson passes Odunze? Let's go CWAT just for the correlation with Justin Jefferson. Maybe we get to bring in Jordan Love as our QB2. That's what I'm seeing here. A little CWAT JJ mini here between Green Bay, Minnesota dome game. And what's also interesting, I brought this up on someone else's stream, is no one's talking about the Aaron Jones revenge game week 17 against the team that dumped him for Josh Jacobs. Could be interesting. Pick 80 something. If he sucks all year, if he doesn't outpay his ADP all year, what if he goes for like 22 points, 24 points week 17? If you knew that, probably be worth it. Probably be worth the click. We just got him yesterday at like 88, 89. Last call on Watson. dudes, they're still talking about how they can like manage him to keep him healthy in his hamstring. It's not great. it's not great. I'm not going to have too heavy of a bet on CWAT. At this ADP, I probably want to be at 8%, but it's tough for me to take a huge stand on someone that is going to probably have his snaps limited. And that's why you have 4 Green Bay Packers going in the top 125 picks for receivers. It's not a matter if he's healthy or not. It's how they're going to use him that's questionable. This is just like a disgusting, awful spot of the draft. Disgusting. I actually like the David Montgomery click there, which is interesting. Minnesota, we do have the mini here. We're not clicking K-Walk all that much. This could be a fine spot to bring him in. Although I am heavily on Charbonnet. It's either K-Walk or Stevenson. Just leaning towards the mini correlation. No pun intended, Minnesota versus Seattle with Justin Jefferson, week 16. Andrew in the house, what's up, man? Jones owners won't like Ty Chandler. I don't know. Like, the competition there, like, they bring in, like, Cam Akers, which is probably good for Ty Chandler. I think that actually secures his role even more. Ferguson goes right after. Keon Coleman goes to the Stroud team. Stroud goes, and this is what I'm saying. We said this at the start of the stream, boys. Stroud is just, his ADP is sliding, but with the badge list coming back, the zombies, pick 56, uncorrelated, Terry McLaurin at pick 32. The zombies are back, boys. The zombies are actually back. Yeah, let's see how many, we're going to go based off subs tonight because we're trying to get to that 2K goal so we can do the 24-hour live stream for the boys. If we get to 1740, which is 2 subs away, we have like 10 rounds to go. If we get to 1740, we'll rip another one. Another BBM. Got to catch up anyways. Yeah. Injuries. You got to think, though, like the team that Joe Burrow has, like literally sucking on his wrist at all times of the day, massaging it whenever he wants. We'll see. We'll see if it holds up. And that's something we're not going to know going into the season unless there's an injury. We're just not going to know. And that part sucks. There is a little bit of risk there. It is what it is. It is what it is. If you're worried about Burrow and the injury, then I suggest going Bijan over Chase or going Jefferson over Chase. Ooh. I mean, I kind of want tight end here, to be honest. Kind of want Bowers. We already have Pickens as the bring back. Kind of want Bowers here. No Al Booger. Najee at fucking 18%. We got to slow down. That just says like how many 0 RB teams we have. All right, let's bring Bowers in here. We're started with a 1-1-5-1. Lamar, Kenneth Walker, Justin Jefferson, Collins, Tank Dell, Pickens, Seawat, and Bowers. We have the Houston double stack. Not even a stack. The Houston double bring back with the Lamar. I don't even know how to say that. After 3 more beers, it'll all make sense. Are you going the eliminator? We are. I'm not doing an eliminator tonight. I'll do BBMs for the boys. We'll keep it at the $25 draft. But the eliminator, we have a huge update on bestballoverlay.com where it provides you a chart that shows Like when you're drafting players, it stacks up their bye weeks, automatically counts it, shows you when you're getting in the yellow, when you're in the red. It's at 4 players in the same bye week. But I think you should also take into consideration where they're being drafted to, draft capital. Maybe next year we'll add some sort of formula to calculate that. I think that would be cool. Shout out to Josh that's just literally working around the clock on bestballoverlay.com. And that's one of the huge advantages we have, is having an owner that is also just working on this nonstop to make sure the product is top titty. I went Nico Diggs with Lamar earlier at Fit, both score touch. Yeah. We've seen this happen with a huge Waddle Tyreek Hill week, and Lamar ends up QB1 as the bring back in that Baltimore-Miami game. We've seen this work. Here for us, I don't know if this guy's ghosting us, so we're going to chill for a sec. We're going to chill. He goes Prescott. Prescott's got to be a good advance rate play. In this range, he just has to be. He just has to be. I think here we're going B-Rob. We're at 16%. I'm cool with fading Swift this year, to be honest. We have such a big bag on Roshan. If he can just take a portion of those red zone goal line carries away, we're good with the bet. Let's bring in B-Rob here first. Up in 12 picks. It's different being in the middle of the board, boys. I'm not used to this. I'm used to seeing 4 picks away, 6 picks away, like being at the 9, being at the 10. This is different. I like this a lot. Middle of the draft, go get your guys. The reaches aren't as egregious. Did I just see Singletary's off the board? No. Oh my, I did. Singletary at 89. How did we miss this? It's also it's the Stroud, the naked Stroud guy. Making me not feel so good about my Singletary bags. What's the word on cheap weapons receivers? Oh, we got you. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're doing our research already off stream. We'll see. Worthy's interesting, man. I heard he caught a touchdown today, caught 3 passes from Mahomes and 7-on-7s. I wouldn't want to be under 8% on Worthy. We're sitting at 11% right now. We're also sitting at 15% Rice, and he's actually catching up to where we have him ranked, which is scary because he was just at 70. It's about to pick up, man. Like BBM, the drafts, the whole draft scene, you haven't seen nothing. It's about to pick up. So be ready to just be locked in. Create as many balanced, well-constructed teams with correlation for a little EV. We got the week 16, we got week 17 in here. Drafting with the overlay just really makes you feel good about every team. Need 8 for BBM if you want to join James. A little shout out. Worthy was my first wide receiver that draft. Oh, was this yesterday when I team reviewed you and Worthy was your first receiver and you had 7 receivers or something? Is that team? That guy heard the staff call Singletary motor on Hard Knocks. Yeah, for the first time he heard it. Singletary's going north of 200 touches, boys. He's going north of 200 touches. We're at 32%. That will come down. That will come down. No, he is rising. So now you have Benson going in a spot where it's hey, shit, I can actually mix in Benson now because Singletary's gone. It just always felt bad to me I just never did it. Clearly. Based on our exposure. Schultz. Okay, he correlates here, boys. He correlates. Calm down. 17 picks before ADP. Such an interesting spot here. We're not going these QBs, although I like these. I like the QBs in this range. This is a spot where I think we have to touch at RB. If we don't go RB, Goddard is there. That comfortably allows us to stop at 2. Benson's here. Do we mix in Benson in this spot? It's either Benson, Corum, or Zeke. And with this team start, let's break it with Benson. We're just talking shit about him. Let's draft him. Singletary's off the board though, so like I operate in the world of small advantages. I appreciate small advantages. Now Singletary has risen. I will now catch up on my Trey Benson shares. That to me is a big win. That to me is a big win for my portfolio. I'll probably safely get up to Benson at 8% while also bringing Singletary down, and other people are drafting him at a higher price. And I'm getting Benson at a cheaper price. That's a win. This is where Nick Chubb should be going. Duke in the house, dropping grenades right in the chat. Directly in the chat. I got him at 130 in one of my slows. You think Benson will continue to fall? I think Zeke should probably be going ahead of him. But on the right team, like if Zeke's going to be my RB2, I'm cool with it. If I already have a rookie, like let's say this is K-Walk, or I'm not even typically drafting K-Walk. Let's say this is ETN, Benson, and then Zeke. I think Zeke makes sense there. Ooh, the Charbonnet click ahead of Corum. That's good. We couldn't go Charbonnet with this team. Pick 78 still a decent investment. Should be leaning into that. All right, one of these 3 is good. I like this. What if we just went Lamar and Russell Wilson? That's high T. That's high T. Zeke is a cozy click if you got late season upside. Right, and that's what I mean. We would be clicking him with a player like Benson, with a player like Corum ahead of him. I think that's when you start to make a lot of sense out of how you're building your team. In this team, we're bringing in Benson and Corum. I fucking love this. I love this. What's our bet on James Conner? So for post NFL draft, it's got to be higher. Let me check. I want this to be higher for BBM, and that's good to, yeah. Like, you can see my take on BBM shares versus post-NFL draft, all my teams, 16%. This is why, in my opinion, it's a lifesaver, a portfolio saver to have the overlay telling me, hey, in BBM, your exposure is 3%. That does not match my take on James Conner. It also doesn't match my take on fading Benson. So with having 50 days left, I'm going to be able to fix that. It's funny because a lot of people know their exposures for post-NFL draft, like their portfolio as a whole, me included. Like, I know I'm in on Conner. I click him a shit ton. I didn't realize that in BBM, because you're doing BBM sparingly, unless you're Nick and you do 100 in the first month. It's very easy to lose track of your exposures in a single contest. Zeke, however, in the eliminator, I think we're over 30%. And it's such a smash. I got to turn on the fan real quick, boys. What's the word on do we appreciate the vibes of the music on the solo pods, or do you just like to hear me breathing heavy? Which one do we prefer? No, I'm serious. Do we like the music in the background or heavy breaths? Mike Williams at 134. Okay. Fallen 8 picks. The music. Yeah, Mr. Pittsburgh, we knew it. I knew that was coming. Everything's better with some tunes in the background. All right. DJ, drop the beats. I can actually beatbox. Random skill that people don't know. But my friend in high school only taught me one beat, so I'm a one beat wonder. So funny. The breathing, the heavy breathing. R.I.P. R.I.P. Too Cool Rad is a YouTube spoon, so he gets first dibs. Tua falling to 139. Oh my god, do we make the exception here? Or okay, we don't because he's gone. I also like Jay Herbs, but this isn't the right team to do it. This isn't the right team to do it. Kendra Miller's interesting in this spot. Yeah, Kendra Miller's interesting in this spot. 21%. I wouldn't mind catching up a little bit on Leggett, a little bit on Gabe Davis. But send it. Send it. Send it, send it, send it. Modified hero running back bill with K-Walk at 78. B-Rob RB2. Benson, Corum, Kendra Miller. One more RB in this room and we're locked tight. It's going to be 2 QBs. Most likely looking at a 2-6-8-2 or 2-6-7-3. Are you guys... Do you prefer 3 tight ends with Bowers because he's a rookie, or are you cool with leaning into 2 tight ends with Bowers? And if so, where's your cap off? Like, are you good with... I mean, we're obviously going to target Likely, so I automatically want to probably go 3 tight ends. That's my thought. Like, Likely, Bowers, and Jonnu would just... That's a hashtag. That's a hashtag my room right there. And this feels good. Like, Likely we're at 13%, and I know in season long we're actually much lower than 13%. We're at 8.7. Three because he's on the Raiders. 2. I don't think there's a wrong answer there, but where is the cutoff? Like, are you... Wow, Fant goes at 147 in this room. Like, I'm probably cool with just Bowers and Hunter Henry. There could be some extreme bias there, though. You don't want to give me Justin Herbert at 150, promise. I promise. This is honestly like an automatic advancement. Do we get QJ to fall to us 12 picks? That'd be wild. If not, Hunter Henry, a little bring back. We can bring in DJ Chark to end the draft. Yeah, like, you want to give me Justin Herbert at pick 150? Going in the range of the 0 Achilles guys? Like, stop. Stop. What are we doing? What are we doing? He can be a strict advance rate play. I don't care if he's even stacked. What are we doing here? Likely's nice with Lamar. Going to have some standalone value. Yeah, and it's a nice little bet. Also against Mark Andrews in a way. I like both clicks, so it feels pretty good getting one of them in each room. It's sort of like some people say that with the LA running backs, which I never understood. I would rather just core them if that's the case. If it feels good to get one of the LA running backs in every draft, doesn't that just mean core them? Corum's the better click per value. TJ Hawk off the board at 154. Kirk Cousins finally off the board. Quinn Johnson went right after, which is fine. There's so many, like, Devontae Walker late's fun. We have to bring Chark up. That's something I have to note for my CSV rankings. Make a little note right here in the notepad. We're going to be doing another draft after this. I think we're 1 sub away. I think we're 1 sub away from locking in another draft. Another BBM draft after this, too. A lot of options here. We're obviously not going to go Devontae Walker right here. But we have Antonio Gibson. We have 2 bring back plays right here. And we go Justin Herbert at the expense of what? Not a lot, because we probably want Mario Douglas here, and he goes off the board before ADP. He goes off the board at 140. 142 or something. 142. Wow. Let's go. You hate to see it, boys. You absolutely hate to see the 32% Hunter Henry, but if it's not broken, don't fix it. Noah Fant off the board at pick 140 something, 147. Which one? I feel like I have multiple. Cole Beasley. Good shout there. Good shout. Remember when they had to bribe Cole Beasley to go to Buffalo? They overpaid him, and then it ended up working. They bribed a couple people that first year to play with Josh Allen, and then the second year they added Diggs. We were way ahead of ADP on Diggs and Josh Allen that year. Won both my fantasy at home leagues. And then Diggs fell off. Shark. Yeah, Shark, I have him at 323, so clearly not someone that I'm really mixing in all that much. We've clicked him once on a search player, but the only reason I'd consider it is because of how fucking bad this receiver room. It just seems like it's up for grabs, the receiver room. Like, Palmer isn't some stud that's going to keep other people off the field. Although he most likely will be a valued piece because he should be steady for Herbert. Drake May off the board at 171. Even more glad that we went Herbert here. It's kind of gross. I think we have to go likely here. Likely, followed by Jalen McMillan. Or is it Bateman? Fuck us. Let's go Bateman first. Maybe we get... The thought is maybe we get Likely on the way back around. And we kind of need another receiver here. That is kind of risky. Rashawn Johnson, only 29%. I have him so aggressively ranked. It doesn't make any sense why I don't have 80%. It doesn't make any sense. Wanna what? I have one more draft. I have one more draft that I didn't upload to the CSV. I'm over 30%. I'm over 30%. Oh shit. Now I actually have to check. Now I have to check. Tournaments only. Let's go BBM. Here we go. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. 30%. Third highest. Singletary is actually number 2. Interesting to see Higgins up there. All right. The Likely dream is still alive. That would be ideal. Double stacking Lamar with 2 of his late pieces always feels pretty good, to be honest. We have who? We have Conklin padding the Likely click, but also Jonnu Smith is a favorite of some. Let's see if it pays off. I think it was smart to go receiver here. And Bateman's not someone I'm on a lot. Like, maybe this brings us to 3%. But, like, where we have 18% Lamar, I shouldn't be completely fading Bateman. What's our Devontae Walker looking like? 10%. Okay. Yeah, it's like completely the leverage stack. And where we don't think Zay Flowers is good for his price, makes sense to be a little heavier on these guys that go later. $323. Yeah, it's later than Underdog's actual rankings. Where's Shark go on? He goes at 210. He's deep, boys. Did I just see Bo Nix at 184? Excuse me? We're gonna have to have a chat. We're going to have a chat. Give us likely here. Make us look really smart. Or don't. Probably go Rashawn. Or actually Jonnu. If they go likely, we'll go Jonnu here. Or Hayden Hurst. Doesn't seem as good. Doesn't sound as good either. All right, we get the late double here. This feels pretty nice. This feels pretty nice. Team so far 2, 5, 6, 3 for the listeners. We have 2 picks left. Lamar and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert at 150. Lamar at 54. K-Walk, B-Rob, Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Kendra Miller. Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, George Pickens, C-Watt, Rashad Bateman, Bowers, Henry, and Likely. Yeah, we kind of put ourselves in a spot where if Bateman sucks at football still... If he sucks at football still, and then C-Walk gets injured, we're really going to have to hit. We're going to have to hit on this last pick. No pressure. No pressure. Just the value on Herbert, I had to. And Demario Douglas was off the board, who was going to be our target there. Just makes sense. Don't have to go three tight ends. Here we do for the correlation, week 17. I think we can lean into these 5 running backs if we absolutely had to. Benny doesn't want me to be over 30% Rashawn. I don't mind the Boyd click there. Let's go upside, like hashtag live a lot a bit. I like Malik. Does Malik make us have to go? Let's go Baker, then Malik. Oh, man. Let's go Malik and then DJ Shark. We already had the New England bring back. We had the New England bring back with Hunter Henry. I think we're going to lean into these 5 RBs. K-Walk, B-Rob, Trey Benson, Corum, and Kendra Miller. It's weird that Bateman feels such a bad click to me, even though it's correlated. Does anyone else get that same feeling? It's just like he's a 2%er for me, so it just doesn't feel good. It's just something in my body. It's just like, why'd I do that? And you collector said watching it 2 times speed to catch up. Should be live in about 6 minutes. Freaking hilarious. That's the most plus EV thing I've seen all day. Watching me at 2x. That's crazy. Do want to stack Justin Herbert in a way. DJ Chark hits. Quentin Johnston's probably shit. Makes sense. Tells a story. I haven't clicked Brendan Rice yet. I just don't think. I think I'd rather take the shot on DJ Shark. That's why we go Malik here. Needed some rookie upside for this team. And getting a Miami piece. A little bonus there. Tyler in the house, what's up, baby? Saw your stream today. Nice guest appearance. If I will. I'm a Ravens fan, and you can tell Bateman isn't it. Rather take a chance on Walker. And that's the way I've been attacking it, with Walker at 10%, Bateman at 2%. Do something a little different here. Hyatt off the board. If Javon Baker comes back, one of these 2 is completely fine. One of these 2 is completely fine. Where are you guys on Khalif Raymond? I'm at 2%, but he actually seems like he might just be like Tyler Boyd of this team. All right, we're getting one of these 2. Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Pickens, C-Watt. Who's there for running backs? Yeah, Estime was here, we would consider Estime. I think you can consider these two. Yeah, Khalif Raymond seems like a great click. I just don't know if it's a great click for this team. You could definitely make that argument. Do we have to correlate Herbert? Could probably use him as just an advanced rate piece, but let's bring in DJ Shark. I think you can make the same case where it's like Jameson bad, like Quentin Johnson bad. And we already went our rookie upside click because you want to be clicking. Typically at the end of these rounds, you want to be clicking some young guys for upside, but I also don't want multiple New England pieces on my team. So here's one. All right. Are we doing the next draft? We said it's going to be a subscriber goal. We have one team to review. That was sick. I love that. I love that. All right, the draft finally ended. BBM number 63. Man, how do I... Feels like I've done more. It's just so many other drafts. I'm happy with how it turned out. DJ Shark super low owned for me. Bateman super low owned for me, so it's gonna look a little worse. Connor, are you on the CWAT gang? Benny going with Purdy and Mayfield, 2682. ETN, White, Elliott. Ty Chandler, Wright. I like Wright in this usage as RB5. Rashawn Johnson. I'm good with this room. Hero, it's modified double anchor RB with ETN and White. I don't know if I love the Zeke click for a White ETN team, but it works. Chase, Waddle, Evans, Ridley, Brian Thomas, Kerr Samuel, Ricky Pearsall, Khalif Raymond with Njoku and Sinnott. I'm fine with two tight ends, basically any two. Look at the name of this team. Late Night EV versus Corain. Well, I'll cover that in a sec. I'm good with it. Maybe a little light at QB, especially for upside for playoff weeks, but correlated with Mike Evans and White, got that double stack, and then Purdy. You must have just had a tough time with QB snipes, which is weird because Tua fell. Feels like you would have had opportunities to draft Tua. This was like a 1 a.m. draft. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be plus EV. We get spotted right next to Corain. We're at 12. We end up with Josh Allen, Geno Smith, Henry, Singletary, Lloyd, Chubb, Rashawn, and Estime, which in my opinion is kind of a fun RB room. Wilson as a bring back against Buffalo, Marvin Harrison, Reed, Rice, Curtis Samuel, Lockett, McMillan, and Malik Washington with Jake Ferguson and Fant. So that little Seattle double bring back with Rashawn Johnson week 17. We have the Josh Allen single stack with Garrett Wilson. And now the team you guys all want to see. Corain's team. He said F by week 14 for sure. Lamar and Drake May. So that might not be surprising. The Drake May click might not be surprising. Stevenson, Warren, Spears, Javante, Charbonnet, which I wanted. Vidal as RB6. Puka London start. Flowers to go with Lamar at that 3-4 turn. Keenan Allen, Hopkins, Bateman, Bourne, Schultz likely, Colby Parkinson, 3 guys. Might have a tough time by week 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players. Oh dear, he needs a big lead. That's like a 60-point week if you're lucky. 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4 RBs. No QBs. And Colby Parkinson. All right, we snuck in. We backdoor banded it. We are in the 7 spot, in the middle of the room again, with Nick Bach, the only pounder in the room. Nick Bach. Unless you snuck in this one with me, let me know where you're drafting from. But I think we might think we might have made out on this one, boys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 badgeless. Underdog is alive and well. Only 2 red badges in here, which is interesting. Wow. So I get this bet on JMO, but even if he's not bad, like Jared Goff, did I just see CMC go off at 4? This room's going to be nuts. CMC just went off the board at 4? What am I looking at? Wait, what if Goff just can't get him the ball? There's 2 ways that JMO fails. We're going to get nothing different in this 7 spot. It's so painful. Oh, man. Crime of opportunities to be in the 4 spot in this room. Shout out to Nez. We'll go Bijan at 7. What's our Bijan exposure? 10%. I would like to stay overexposed to Bijan and Breece Hall in this first round. Colby Parkinson is also still a guy. Nick says, I sense a lot of casuals. Well, you called that, my friend. 11-11, make a wish. It already came true. Drafted Dalmatian with Pat Crane. Wasn't super excited to see him in a $100 room. You should have saw our $500 room last year with Sherman, Dave from ETR. I don't think Herzig was in it. CSU ran Peter Jennings and Liam Murphy. And we came in 4th. We came in 3rd by 4 points because Tyreek Hill left the field week 14. Shit. Yeah. What a pain. What a day to be in the 4 spot, huh? Little CMC at 4. The thing is, it's really difficult to get different through 2 rounds. Like, to get a rare combination, you're typically getting it if you're in, like, the 11 or 12 spot. Maybe you get, like, Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. Seen a couple of those. Seen a couple of, like, the Amon-Ra Gibbs. But it's really hard to get different over here in this area, just because of how people value different picks. Oh dear, we're bringing up the Cedric Tillman talk in the chat now. Now things are getting steamy. If you guys haven't already, just join me. Go down, slap the like on the live stream. We're on the road to 2K subs for a 24-hour live stream. So if you want to see that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Drake London at 18 would have been insane. Let me check the Bijan shares. Bijan with Olave. I think we're actually gonna have. We have 1. Tank Dell with the next click. We have 0 Bijan Nico, so we're going to make a switch up here. Not that it's a big deal to have 2 Bijan Olaves, but we'll make a small switch up because we don't have this pairing. Cedric Tillman. God. Where are you guys on where are you guys on Judy? I'm basically ignoring that he's on the board. Yes. No, I am ignoring completely that he's even there. Let's go. Jared says the music is an absolute vibe. That's what we're trying to do right now. That's what we're trying to do. KC Baltimore. Could bring in Derrick Henry for the mini. Could bring in Neighbors for the week 16 against Beige. We'll see if I would love for Neighbors to come back to us. And maybe we get more stacks that way with Bijan over here in like the 4 spot. Bijan at 3. And probably getting Neighbors a lot easier that way. Could be an interesting way to get some playoff correlation. Come on, Badgeless. Click those running backs, boys. Click those running backs. Play along. Play the part. Play the part. Gaming with the boys. A little, what are you playing? I think he actually plays first-person shooters. Bijan in picks 3 through 5 is better than Bijan pick 7. The issues that it hurts exposures to wide receivers. Yeah, I think if you can afford to do it, and we can't because we never get pick 3 through 5. And actually, Lamb's at 8%, and we had to use a lot of 101s on that, but we balanced those two. Hill's at 5%. Chase is at 10. Jefferson's obviously under. Okay. This is why I go Tank Dell here. This is why I go Tank Dell here. Is there any way we get Tank Dell at 42? Oh, shit. We're going the double stack again. It's going to work one of these times. It's going to work one of these times. This is a dangerous room to do it in. Diggs' team's right behind us. So as long as he doesn't go Stroud at 56 or 65, please go elite QB. Please go elite QB at 41. Why do we do this to ourselves? Love the tunes. Just aged myself and used the word tunes. A little iTunes, Throby. Playing Warzone. 9% Khalif. I think that's safe. Like, you're basically using him as a 1 round cheaper Tyler Boyd, but you're actually on an elite offense and you're leveraging expensive pieces with Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Laporta. Not that he's like the prototypical 2-touchdown game guy, but I guess anything can happen. We did see Tyler Boyd score a touchdown in the first quarter of that Cincy KC game 2 years ago. He could have been on the way to a massive leverage game. The world will never know. My number 1 wide receiver stance is Amari Cooper. And is this on the stance of you're drafting a lot of him or you're fading him? Because now you're scaring me. Now you're freaking me out. Where is he? Where's the Diggs team? Elite QB. Elite QB. 1/3 of my teams have Amari. What's my exposure to Amari? I feel like it's high. We have 11%. How about in everything? Get rid of all the filters. We're at 11%. It does seem like there's a tier break. Diggs team. Elite QB. He probably still will go Stroud. 18% Amari in general, 22% BBM. I mean, he definitely has an elite ceiling, that's for sure. What do we have for stars here? Breece Hall, JT, Cooper. Okay, let's go. That raises the chance we get him by like 5%. Maybe Zay Flowers here. Maybe Zay Flowers here. He's our bring back. This is fun. Not a guy that I'm clicking a ton of, but we definitely hit the wide receiver cliff. We have our bring back in this Houston game. We have our bring back. What are the chances Lamar falls back to us at 55? Josh Allen's still on the board. Mahomes still on the board. I'm sending up my one time. All right, I'm one time. One time. I never say it. One time. Uh-oh. There goes one of them. Josh Jacobs at pick 46. Throw up in my mouth. Oh, I don't hate Tennessee at all. Check the expos. Check the expos. 11, 11, 10, 6. This should be higher. Conquo should be lower. How about here? 11, 10, 10, 9. I mean, it's not gonna... It's not gonna get me too excited, but I like them where they go. I like them a lot in the Eliminator for being bye week 5. I'm way, way heavy. Way heavier on them. Oh, come on. Come on. Push Lamar. There's no way. There's no way. We got 3 badgeless. CMC went at 4 in this room, boys. Anything's possible. We're 5 picks away. Someone's got to be a Patrick Mahomes stan in the room. No one went the Mark Andrews Lamar double tap, which increases our chance of getting him a little bit. A little bit. Come on. No, I got to catch the reruns, my man, Bin. I got to catch the reruns. Oh, the auto. Not the auto. Not the auto. Oh, my. The dream. The dream. Josh Allen team. Don't you dare. Anything but the Josh Allen team taking Lamar. Anything. I'd rather this guy take him at 54. I'll be so much less hurt. I'll be so much less hurt. Kincaid. All right. Okay. Can't even blame him. Lamar at 53. What are we doing? And then Mahomes goes off at 54. So close. We have 3 bye week 14 receivers. Let's bring in Godwin here. Oh my God. Nah, Mandrews. We already have Zay Flowers for the bring back. Stroud at 3%. I'm sort of happy because I want a lot of Houston, but I wanted him at a better price. So waiting on Stroud and now he's falling feels really good, but we just try to get him in the last room. Didn't work. We'll see if we get him here. 3 receivers. Does he take another detour at QB? Completely possible. Gotta bump those Tennessee numbers up. Not too worried about it. Deontay Johnson's someone that we got ahead of ADP on, and he's been rising pretty good. Dion, let's go receivers. Last month he's up 3.4. It doesn't have, when you go to all, it doesn't change from the month, but that's not their starting ADP. Wonder if there's a space issue. If A-Rich falls to us at 66, we have to think about that. This guy's got a 0-3-2-0 start. This looks identical to a team last draft. In a similar spot with similar running backs. He goes Addison at 63. Dude, read a book. Like, read a book, bro. Gretch is pushing up. I think everyone's been pushing up Deontay Johnson. I'm just glad now. I even still like him at ADP, but like now you're getting Brian Thomas to fall. So I've been clicking him a lot more in the last week or so. All right, we get our double stack. We don't get it after ADP, but it's not worth the risk. Not in this room. In sharper rooms, without the double stack, I'll push Stroud. With the double stack in a room with a few badgeless in front of us, CMC goes at 4. Like, let me just secure the double stack. The double stack and bring back. Like, to get Nico and Dell and then get the Flowers fall. Pretty good. I like that. Yeah, you need at least one. You need one in each room to pay the rake. It's like a rule. It's a rule. 539 person final. The Stroud double stack. Baltimore bring back. 46.5 point total. Dome game. Real nice. Let me pull up, if you guys haven't seen this already, the graphs on bestballoverlay.com. You can literally digest your week 17 stacks, your QB stacks, and your bringbacks, which games you're actually targeting. And it's nice to check this every now and then, every 5 to 10 drafts, to see how you're adjusting. Like, I came in here and I had no idea I had 1% Green Bay, Minnesota. Now, I'm not drafting any Minnesota quarterbacks, so I expect this to be lower. Same thing with Las Vegas, New Orleans. I'm not drafting a Las Vegas quarterback, so I expect this to be lower. But making sure that you're on track for those Week 17 games that you favor a lot, like Detroit, San Fran. I've been focusing this one a lot more. Dallas, Philly, I want this one to be higher than 6%. So making sure your portfolio actually matches your takes. The graphs have been a great way to digest your portfolio in a way that you can't on Underdog. And again, that's bestballoverlay.com, promo code Pounders, all caps, for 33% off. And this looks like a Stevenson click. This looks like Stevenson click. Ferguson went off the board where? You had Kittle go off the board at 74. Ferguson went off the board before Kittle. Please. He actually double tapped both of them. Okay. Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. He actually gets Kittle and Amon-Ra. It's just interesting why he didn't go Kittle first. Right? If you know you want both of them, you have the better chance of getting Jake Ferguson to fall. Just confused. Confused. Do you have any hot takes? You feel like you're on an island this year? We'll type her in. Right here, boys. ETR. I mean, maybe I'm not even on an island. ETR put out a thing where they project the target share for each receiver in Green Bay, and they're all down across the board. It does seem like Jordan Love actually, at least verbally, favors Romeo Doubs in the offense. It looks like the coach from last year, based on snap counts, favored Romeo Doubs. Jaden Reed going into year 2, I like the upside there. If I had to make a bet, it'd be Reed, but based on ADP, it's interesting. You could just see Green Bay spread the ball a lot and maybe even run the ball a lot. We know they like to do that too. But yeah, Wicks. Definitely feel like I'm on an island. Zay Flowers, super heavy fade on Zay. 2% Zay. So we have some heavy fades in here. Diggs, I'm at 2%. We were drafting Tank Dell over Diggs since contest open. That one is now a reality. Let's see. The Michael Pittman fade, I think more people are on board with that. One guy on the Packers to give you a 30-point game. I just don't know if anyone's going to be on the field. Okay, here we go. Here's a chance for us to go James Conner. We're going to have to catch up at RB. What's also fun here would be going Jaden Daniels, but 2 QBs by week 14. Let's chill on that for a sec. This instantly becomes a 5 RB team. And let's see if we can recover a little bit. We're going to need receiver. It would be nice to get Goddard on this team. This is just, I think this room, you can test the waters a little more. You can push the limits a little more in a room like this, where you already know you have like a dead team. Caleb off at 94. Curtis Samuel 93 to the Josh Allen team. Wow, this is crazy, dudes. Josh Allen falls to 45 to the CMC team. Neighbors, Ayuk, CMC, O'Dunes, Deontay Johnson. This team's insane. The 4-spot team's insane. It's insane. If you want to get CMC Josh Allen, like, you have to bring Josh Allen to like 25. I've never seen this. Have you guys seen a Josh Allen CMC team yet where he wasn't taken early at like 26 or 25? Like, that's wild. I like the idea of Zay and Lamar, but I hate taking Lamar when Josh Allen and Hurts are on the board. Yeah, I agree. I think we actually have, yeah, it's close. It really is close between all of them. I'm going to catch up on my Hurts shares, especially Hurts, AJ Brown. Just haven't been getting that position really that much. Wow. Spelling. Do it now. 3% Browns. Like, that has to increase. Give us Njoku. If not, it's probably not Myers. You go Shaheed. This is eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Next pick's at 114. I would rather be going receivers. Goddard's there too. I think this is a coin toss. Let's go Palmer here. This bye week 14 thing's sketching me out. Let's go. And shout out to T. Peter. If you're in the house right now, another pick'em win. Back-to-back nights. 3 pieces. 3-piece chicken McNugs. 3-piece chicken McNugs. Did we get the update on? Yeah, we got the update here too. Let's go. Let's go. The boys subscribe to Odds Jam. Now we have 2 people in the Discord giving out the plus EV bets. So nice. So nice. If you guys aren't already in the Discord, which I assume most of you are, I'll link it in the chat for the boys. Let's go. Let's go. So nice. So nice. Jordan Love off the board at 107. This team's got 3 receivers still. Njoku off at 109. We want Goddard here at 114. Whether that happens or not, I suppose we shall see. Oh, man, boys. 154 likes. I appreciate you guys. Truly. Everyone that came out tonight. Appreciate you. Myers off at 110. I have one Hurts, AJ Brown, Saquon, Devonta stack. What? Your OddsJam free trial ends tomorrow. Fun's over. The fun's over. It's okay. I like ending on a hot streak. You know how hard it is for me to not click Singletary here, right? Yeah, now it's not hard. He's off the board. Goddard here. It would be nice to get a Washington piece. A little mini against Philly week 16. A little mini week 17 against the ATL. Get a little more EV from a Washington piece on this team. But we'll bring in Goddard. That was the plan. Like, what combination do you like better between Palmer and Goddard? Or do you guys like Njoku and Brandon Cooks? That's basically the 2 for 2. And we couldn't guarantee Brandon Cooks was going to be here. That's the kicker, though. That's the kicker. With the risk that it's AD. Palmer, Dallas, easy. Okay. I think I'm actually impartial. Now, the thing that's nice about Palmer is it's going to open up another QB stack for us. So when you add that in, like Justin Herbert and Stroud, I'm comfortable stopping at 2 QBs, and I'd prefer to stop at 2 QBs. We're gonna need to catch up. Yeah, Njoku Cooks. I think I would lean that, but with the fact that this opens up another QB combo, it's fucking close. What sucks is not really going to be able to bring in like Demario Douglas on this team by week 14. Or Josh Downs. Maybe this is finally the time we click like Gabe Davis. Mike Williams. Plan for a healthy Mike Williams 14 weeks into the season. Hunter Henry. Dude, I'm going to try not to. We'll see. Gabe Davis here. Did Mike Willie went off the board at 121. I actually like this wide receiver room with... Oh, yeah, this is a nice team. He might be badgeless, but don't let it fool you. CeeDee Lamb at 1. Devonta Smith, Barkley. Guess that game stack. Trey McBride. Jaden Reed was a little questionable at 49, but he, again, when you're picking on the turns, he probably didn't want to be buried. It was Reed, Seawatt at 72. It's been a nice draft from him in the 1 spot. Good night, Benny. Good night. Wow. Purdy is sliding down the board. Do we just stop at 2 tight ends here? Save a roster spot? This is going to be tricky, though, because we need... It would be nice to get Mooney for this team. Mooney, Quentin Johnston. Let's go Pat Fry here. Let's stop at 2 tight ends with Goddard and Pat Fry. I like being able to save the roster spot in this situation. We're strong at RB, so we should be able to stop at 5 RBs. We may be able to stop at 2 QBs, which means we're going to be able to draft 9 receivers, which we don't need. So I mean we'd have a luxury pick, which means this is just going to be a pretty well-balanced team. I did the math, and Flowers had 1 touchdown and 0 games greater than 80 yards when Mandrews ran 30% of routes, greater than 30% of routes. Mandrews had 6 touchdowns. I want to see what they do this year, though. Like, are you really going to have Likely on the bench and you're going to be playing Nelson Aguilar? Previous years says yes. Like, I want to see them run more 2 tight end sets, but God, that would kill me if I was a Baltimore fan and I saw that. That would kill me. Like, put Likely on the field. That's for the film grinders to tell me. Zay Flowers is heavily tied to Lamar spike weeks too. So like when I have Zay Flowers, I typically want to have Lamar unless I have a CJ Stroud double stack. I think we make that accommodation. Ooh, Nick Bach with the Purdy Goff double tap. Really, really nice. After ADP, 20 picks after ADP on Purdy. 6 picks after on Goff. Pairs with Debo, Gibbs, and J-Mo. Woo! Okay, Kirk Cousins off the board now. Again, a run at QB. This guy's got 3 QBs, which is scaring me. Don't go Herbs, bro. Don't go Herbs. You don't need him. You don't need him. You got so many options. You want Rodgers, man. You want Rodgers. Yeah. We're not messing around. We're done at 2 QBs. This guy's got 3 QBs. Could dry out the room a little bit. Jalen Hurts, A-Rich, and Tua. And then Nick Bach gets 2 values like Brock Purdy and Jared Goff. That's really nice. That's really nice. Best ball guy in the house. What's up, baby? Baltimore defense was elite last year. Could see negative regression, so just more passing in general. Yeah, I think that's the expectation with Monken too. I think the efficiency could also be really nice though from Derrick Henry, who's never really ran in an offense where all eyes weren't directly on him. I think that could benefit him from an efficiency standpoint. We're at a 2-3-5-2. We're done at QB. We're done at tight end. It's going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one. I'm drunkers. Jesus. I don't have any numbers on situational neutral pass rate. Yeah, that's... And Mandrews didn't really start the year... He started the year hot, right? And then he kind of slowed down. I think he played one game with like an injured shoulder or something. Like he fell on his shoulder pretty hard. We'll see. He's always banged up though. But still, even if Andrews is healthy, or if he's not healthy, like we saw Zay Flowers' year with no Andrews, he can get there on limited touches, but it was nothing like the first game you saw. That first game, you almost have to throw away. He had how many targets that game? Let me actually pull it up. Remember, like, the first 3 plays were, like, designed plays to Zay Flowers. Pull up the game log. The gulag. Yeah, we put ourselves in a spot at receiver for sure. I don't mind Jermaine Burton here. Burton or Quentin Johnson. Let's go Quentin Johnson for the stack. Let me pull up that game log. Yeah, he had 10 targets. He only touched that 1, 2, 3, 4 more times without Andrews. What game did Andrews go down? It's just hard to see Zay Flowers outpay his ADP. We know he is like an explosive player, but even then, like his best game last year in half-point PPR, it was like 20-something points. It was 20.7 points. He hit 20 points once. I don't get the Zay Flowers ADP. I don't get it. I don't want to be in this box. Now we're saying Andrews is coming back. Wow, Andrews played a lot more games than I thought. Than I remember, at least. He had 2 two-tutty games, though. I remember that. Andrews played a lot more games, I thought. Let's go. Papa in the house. Just download the app and join the Discord. Dude, the Discord is so much fun. It really is. Late night drafters, the pick'em sickos, the people sharing the draft news on players, on riser and fallers. It's like it's more efficient than scrolling through Twitter when you're looking for player news. Discord's awesome, and everyone that is in there makes it possible. Would have been nice to get Jermaine Burton back to us. I would have loved to click Demario Douglas there, but like we boxed ourselves here. We need options for bye week 14. I don't want to put up a 30-point week. We have both tight ends available. 2 RBs. We got to take Algier off our board here. We got to take Gibson pretty much off the board here. Interesting spot. Interesting spot. Wandale off the board at 158. That's like a 8-pick reach. Bye week 11 would have been nice for us. Thielen off the board. Hashtag never Thielen. Come on. Come on. What are you going to do? Do it to us. I'm cool with Roman Wilson here. Buying the dip. Can we get him on the way back around though at 175? We might be able to. Which means maybe we just go... oh, man. Look how high DeMarcus Robinson is. Receivers really start to fall off. It's so gross. Let's go Michael Wilson. Someone we're not clicking a ton of, only at 3%, but I think some of that has to do with I'm not clicking Marvin Harrison a lot, which I want to start so I can start getting more Kyler. And when I get more Kyler, then I'll get more Michael Wilson, which, I mean, definitely not a priority, but we'll bring him in here. So I had a 2-3-7-2. I don't feel obligated to bring in Chuba. All my RBs have late bye weeks. We expect Brooks to have a pretty big role by then. Chuba's role to be diminished, maybe to like 25% if you're lucky. The upside is if Brooks re-injures his knee, obviously. Maybe if he does fall back to us, we'll consider him with this week 17 mini with Chris Godwin, though. I'm surprised. I'm at 3% Godwin for BBM. And I'm at 11% in all other drafts, post-NFL draft. Bestball guy likes the Michael Wilson click there. Yeah, we just had to get off this by week 14, which is... I think we're fine now. We obviously need one more. Like, I hate being boxed like that. I hate being boxed where you feel like you're making different decisions. And I didn't affect us too much. Just the Demario Douglas click. Just the Demario Douglas click, really. But we get a correlated receiver in Quentin Johnson, if that means anything. Where is the bullish guy on QJ? Make yourself known in the chat. Where's the bull? Come on. Show yourself. We know you've been hiding in here. What percent QJ do you have? Is there a 20% QJ guy in here? There's gotta be. There's gotta be. Khalil Herbert at 172. Wrong Chicago running back, bro. Yeah, Roman and Wilson almost came back to us too. But not going to be our target. Connor, I'm done arguing for my wrong takes. Good night. Bro, you can't convince people. You just got to share what you think is right, and I just move on. Not everyone's going to agree with all the takes, and that's okay. We're going Rashawn here. Fuck everyone, bro. We're getting our guy here. We're getting our guy. We don't need QB. We don't need tight end. We don't necessarily need Corley or Mims. We can't go McCaffrey. We can't really go Mims by week 14, so let's go get our guy. $20% Mingo. No. 25% Ray Davis guy. First thing I saw in the Discord was someone posting 75% QJ. Who is that? Is that under the exposure tab? All right, it's not Rohan. Oh, I see it. Spars. $60 in entry fees. It's 16 teams. Doesn't even count. That's a stance, though. It is a stance. Levis off the board at 181. Nick Bach brings in his 3 QBs. Correlated double stack with Tennessee between McMillan. My McMillan. How am I supposed to make millions without McMillions, man? Oh. Oh. We're gonna have to do some shit in this room. We're gonna have to do some things. We're gonna have to do some things. Something makes me want to just grab Estime here. A spirit just touched me. And it said, you need another bye week 14 guy because you don't have enough. This is like Karane's team from the other night. Yeah. We're going Estime and we're done at RB. The RB room, Bijan, Stevenson, Connor, Rashawn Johnson, and Estime. We're stopping here. Don't say I don't get my guys. Don't say I don't get my guys. 3% Connor, so depressing in BBM though. Luckily, he's kind of a common faller. But with Benson falling, kind of shows that Connor's probably good for his price, in my opinion. Now, you still have the injury risk and all that, but... Excuse me? We have to have a chat. We have to... We have to have a chat, and all the pounders have to show up. We're going to circle the room. You're going to come in completely surprised, and it's just going to be a full-on intervention. We're going to have beers. Like, beers will be there. It's cool. It'll be a beer event. But, like, 27% Jamar Chase. Someone's just got to point to your phone and be like, there's other guys there. Like, you know, there's, like, just players that go before him, after him. You can click any of those. I respect it. That is quite the freaking stance. I am a little worried on Burrow's health as of recent. You can never tell with my exposure to T. Higgs though. Who's Nas Daily? Now I gotta look at who this is. Raphael. Who is it? Is it a YouTuber? Who is it? Dude, Deshaun Watson went off the board after JJ McCarthy. What? What is this room? Is this gonna get canceled? The one spot gets Kyler, Baker, and Derek Carr. This team pulls in an absolute insane value to go with Dak too. Like, kind of a cool pairing when you're getting Deshaun at 190. You have to believe in something to beat 672,000 other people. Yeah, well, this is going to be the room where it's like, wow, if this wins, people will be like, he reached on Rashawn, he reached on Estimate. It would be crazy. It'd be crazy. K. Dotton off the board at 193. We're getting some weird slides. Which, like, I'm not a K. Dotton guy. But he typically doesn't last to 193. And if you guys are just joining me, you haven't already enjoying the content, you're still here with me, go down, slap the like on a live stream. If you're on the Twitter machine, come over, click the link on the Twitter, log into the YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be doing a 24-hour live stream at 2K subs. We need everyone's help in order to get there if you guys want to put me through the ultimate test. 24 guests, 24 hours, one man, a lot of beers. Actually, I don't know if I can do beers that day. I might die. Like, you might see me sleeping on stream if I do beers for a 24-hour live stream. I'll crack a beer for the last hour. That will be my that'll be my party trick. Just every receiver I see has bye week 14. Let's go Malik here. Gonna have a huge role in the offense for week 14. That's what we're telling ourselves. Yeah, we're just grabbing our guys now. We're just grabbing our guys. At 10% Malik now in BBM. Happy with that. Happy with that. Don't want to go Greg Dortch here with the double stack in Arizona. Kind of gross. So ignore the Dortch click there, if I can remember. Now I don't mind bringing in a 14 by 14. We have 5 players available for week 14 for receivers. We have 3 running backs, one of them being Bijan, which you're counting on anyways, and then one of Connor and Roshan. James Conner's such a non-football player name. That's a good take. That's a good take. I'll give you that. Solid take. Stroud and Herbert. Bijan, Stevenson, James Conner, Rashawn Johnson, Estime. We have the week 16 bring back against the Chargers and Estime. We have the week 17 bring back with Stevenson. Nico, Tank Dell. Zay Flowers, week 17 bring back with that Stroud double stack. Chris Godwin, Joshua Palmer, Quentin Johnson, the double stack with Herbert. Michael Wilson, Malik Washington, Goddard, and Freiermuth. We're sticking here. We're sticking to our guns. I mean, 2 double stacks with 2 QBs, pocket passing QBs. Bring backs week 16 and 17 for the Chargers, week 17 for Houston. I think we crushed this one. Packing this one full of EV. One more receiver. And we don't... 4 receivers by Godwin, 5 by Palmer. I would say we need a 9th. Who's there for tight end? Sanders. Sanders is a pretty decent click. I'm not clicking Hurst all that much. I'm not clicking Hurst, I guess, in BBM yet. I'm comfortable with the amount of carries between these 3. So I think we just go receiver here. Who's on the board for QBs? Daniel Jones. Just to have a peek. A.T. Perry by week 5. Not going to have a huge stance on who this is, to be honest. Let's go Hyatt. I want to save the Parker Washington for my T-Law stacks. And we already took a shot on Malik. Let's bring in Hyatt here. 2592. I think this is a pretty good team for advanced rate purposes as well. Stroud, when you get the double stack, I don't think it's worth pushing. But when you single stack them, I absolutely do think it's worth pushing to the 70s, 78 range. Like if we only had Nico, I'm comfortable trying to get Stroud at 79. When you double stack them, it's kind of tough. Where we had 4 receivers too, and a running back start. I'm okay with getting Stevenson here. So that's the other thing. Like, what are you giving up? You're giving up probably a receiver in this range at pick 66, which we didn't need because we started 4 receivers through 5 rounds. Just another way to think about it. What's your rationale on Rashawn Johnson? I think he has the best chance to be on the field in pass pro. The other 2 RBs being 5'9", about 210, 215. I think he has the chance as the bigger back to be the goal line guy, which Swift has never been. He was wildly unsuccessful in Philly with a top O-line. So I think Rashawn Johnson at ADP just seems safe. I think on top of that, if you have Khalil Herbert get moved, there's only like 2 or 3 teams max that if Khalil Herbert goes to, he rises higher than Rashawn Johnson. I think every other team, Rashawn Johnson would rise higher than Khalil Herbert. So between that, like, pick 175 feels safe to me. Even better if you're getting him near 200. But especially on this team where like we're not really heavily dependent on our late picks having to smash. I like pairing him in situations like this. We also paired him on a team that was hyper fragile where we got CMC. Who was it? CMC, JT, and Barkley. 3 RB start. I think we recovered it pretty well in a our hyper fragile build was we brought in Rashawn Johnson as RB4 super, super late. So I don't know. You're going to have players that you're higher on and that you're making concentrated bets on. I think you should be doing that. And especially with picks that go this late, it's really hard for it to hurt you unless they just get hurt. Like, unless they're just not playing football. It's really hard for it to like negatively affect your advance rates if you're missing on a player 30% of the time that goes in the range of 175 to 200. It's not that big a deal. But if it hits, you're going to see a very positive influence on your advance rates. I'm not saying Rashawn Johnson's going to be that guy, but I like the bet based on his price. I wish I didn't try to push Trace. Bird, where are you at? We'll cover your team. Were you in this draft? Because I don't see a Bird-ogie. Does anyone else see a Bird-ogie? Or do we have a guess of where he would be? Let's cover Nick Bach in the 12 spot. Pounder also subscribe to the Overlay, bestballoverlay.com promo code Pounders, all caps, for 33% off. Brings it from $30 a month to $20. And you're going to see a hyper-correlated team with the week 16, 17 minis because Nick Bach's that dude. He gets Purdy at 132. Goff and Levis. I love this pairing of these three QBs. My Goff exposure's way too low. It's way too low. And luckily, we have the exposures on the screen for BBM per Best Ball Overlay, and I can catch up, and I plan on catching up. Gibbs, Henry, Kamara, Spears, McLaughlin. I'm good with the capital spent in RB. Debo, Higgs, Rice is wide receiver 3 with Hopkins, J-Mo, Burton, Mims, and Baker. Njoku, he has a little week 16 mini in that Indy, Tennessee game with Jelani Woods. I'm okay with, again, 2 tight ends with Njoku as the starting tight ends. Fine. Wide receiver 3 Rice does lean into, it does lean more into like less of a suspension for Rice. D-Hop, wide receiver 4, J-Mo. I'm not on the J-Mo click. Like, clearly, holy shit, I have legit 0 J-Mo. I think I'm okay with it. Like, that's probably one of my bigger stands in the top 100. Zay Flowers, Pittman fade, J-Mo, like none. And more, it's like some of that's Goff too, though. But he gets a double stack with Gibbs, J-Mo. He has the bring back in with Debo, and he has the other side of it with Purdy too. He has Purdy, Debo. He has the bring back in J-Mo. So that's nice. So he has a game that's 49.5 point total, and he says, hey, give me the QB that scores the most points on probably the highest game total of the week, week 17, championship week. Really nice. Yeah, nice correlated team. And it's balanced too. 3-5-8-2. Looks good. Looks good. I was at 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. You crushed through at least the first 7-8 rounds I was watching. He got Josh Allen at 45. He got CMC at 4. This draft was insane. Palm sweaty the entire draft. That was kind of intense to land. CMC at 4, then Allen. This could be a crazy team. This team redacted. This team's redacted. Josh Allen, Young, and Daniel Jones. I appreciate this 3 QB build going super, super late on the last 2. Gets a 20 pick fall on Daniel Jones too, just basically free. CMC at 4. Gets the CMC fall and the Josh Allen fall. I hope this becomes a thing. I hope Josh Allen's ADP just falls back to the CMC ADP. I would have 90% Josh Allen. Unfortunately, it's never going to happen because he won't fall super far past. But we'll see. We'll see where Josh Allen ends up. Seems like the casuals, which is surprising, aren't clicking him at ADP or before ADP. CMC, Gus, Charbonnet, Bucky and Herbert, Ayuk, Neighbors, O'Dunes, Deontay Johnson. I like that. Curtis Samuel, Cortland Sutton, Leggett, Slayton, Kincaid, Kmet. Super well balanced. Ton of correlation with all 3 QBs. He has a little week 17 bring back with Bucky Irving in that Carolina game. No bring back for the Buffalo stack or Giants, but it looks like a well-balanced team. And my God, what a beauty. If you can get to this to the finals with Josh Allen and CMC, so sick. But I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. If you guys enjoyed the stream, drop a like on the way out. Drop a comment if you have time. Hit the sub if you're not already subbed. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good night, Pounders.